John MacArthur puts out a video about we are loser.
Yeah, we lose down here.
We lose down here.
We're not going to waltz into the kingdom. He's killing it.
$10 million net worth, multiple study Bibles with his name on it, conferences, mega church, the whole bit.
Ruslan.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to talk to you. I saw your video. What I appreciated about you is you, sir, as a fellow Calvinist, was not afraid to come at the Pope.
The Pope, the
John
Protestant
MacArthur.
Pope. Yeah, who I appreciate very much. But at the same time, it's like, look, like we need to do things charitably. We need to do it respectfully, but we're allowed to disagree. If you're in the public, you're allowed to be disagree. People disagree with me. Yeah. Every 5 minutes, you know, and which is fine.
Yeah, you're in trouble right now.
I'm in trouble right now on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. So for those folks that maybe aren't looped in, John MacArthur puts out a video about we are loser.
Yeah, we lose down here.
We lose down here.
We're not going to waltz into the kingdom.
Which I personally, from a macro standpoint, you addressed it very pragmatically. I thought it was ironic coming from someone that by every worldly measurable metric is absolutely not losing.
He's killing it.
$10 million net worth, multiple study Bibles with his name on it, conferences, mega church, the whole bit. So I just thought, man, wouldn't it be better if he told men how to win down here, you know, outside of his eschatology, right? And then I think the eschatology just becomes depleting and self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, right?
Yeah, I do think that dispensational premillennialism can be.
This is one of the new pieces from the He is Him collection, Jesus the King. When you wear this shirt, you do two things. One, you remind yourself in your life who the King is when you put this thing on. Two, you represent who the King is when you go out in public. So get ready for the He is Him collection, available this Friday to Sunday only.
Some of them are solid, but I think it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's just like things are going to get worse and worse. And it's like, okay, and are you living like that? I am. Oh, maybe that's why it's getting worse and worse, you know? So, yeah.
So you would venture off to say, which I would agree with, that what people believe about eschatology, the study of the end times, actually does determine how they behave on this side of eternity.
Absolutely. Not in a perfect sense for everyone. So I want to be clear and carve out some caveats and stuff like that. I've got a lot of solid friends who are premillennial and amillennial, but they fight like they're post-mill. But I think a big part of it is the timeline. So typically you're a premillennial guy, and I keep saying, you know, dispensational premill, because technically there's historic premill guys and dispensational premill guys. The historic premill guys, that's because I want to be fair and not straw man. That's the oldest eschatological position that we know of in church history. So that goes all the way back to like Irenaeus and guys that, like, you know, saying Jesus is going to return relatively soon, and you know, and things are probably going to get, you know, trending downward until he returns. The dispensational premill guys, that's a novel position. That's not until the 19th century, only about 150 years old, with the Schofield Bible and Darby, and these guys kind of coined this way of thinking. And the main difference between historic premill and dispe premill is the rapture, a secret rapture. So the idea of 7 years of tribulation, and there's this pre-trib rapture or maybe mid-trib rapture, and it's going to, you know,
and
like
this is like left behind
theology.
theology.
Yeah, left behind. If you want to, what's dispensational premillennialism? Left Behind, which Kirk Cameron, by the way, he's post-mill. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, for years he was the actor in Left Behind, and he's post-mill, man, and he's hardcore, and he lives like it. He's going to public libraries, reading, you know, books about God and stuff like that. I mean, that guy goes he goes hard for Jesus. Yeah, it's awesome.
So I tend to have a fairly, I think, diverse palette of theology, and I find all of it fascinating and interesting. But I appreciate the post-mill position, probably because of the more pragmatic, practical side of what you're describing. And I don't think what you believe about these things really shouldn't make a difference, because even if the premillennial position is true, you should be living to honor God with your time, talent, treasure, your
because
gifts, your
obedience
service.
should be enough of an incentive.
Right. But
not results, but obedience.
Yes. So for folks who don't know about anything we're talking about, can you just give a brief description? We're talking about eschatology, which is the study of the end times, and there are three main positions called post-millennialism, premillennialism, amillennialism. Can you just give people a very, like, kind of, you know, brief breakdown of that, and then we can kind of go deeper, and then you're gonna close all of us on postmillennialism by the end of this podcast.
We'll see. So yeah, so the easiest way that I could explain it, thinking of these three positions, a lot of times if you're a visual person, you might be thinking, all right, there's pre-mill, all-mill, post-mill. What I'm saying is that, you know, all-mill is in the middle, and then, you know, to the left, you know, you start with pre-mill on one side, then you got all-mill in the middle, and then you got post-mill on the other side. But I think it's actually better to think of post-mill as the middle position, which is not really my MO, because I'm not usually thought of as Joel Webbin. He's a moderate.
Okay.
I usually am a little bit viewed as more extreme, but I really think in this case with eschatology, post-mill is the moderate position. What I mean by that is that it shares one major quality with all-mill and pre-mill.
Okay.
So the two main qualities to consider is this: the nature of the millennium and the timing of the millennium.
And the millennium is the 1,000-year literal reign of Christ.
Right, but depending on the position, it may not be viewed literally.
Okay.
So if you're all-mill, you don't think it's a literal 1,000 years.
Okay.
But you do believe that it is this millennium, it's this time period of Christ ruling and reigning.
Okay. And by literal, I guess I just mean physical. Like Jesus comes back in a physical body and rules. Is that fair?
Well, see, and yeah, it is fair. I think that's absolutely fair. But that's kind of what I'm getting at, is the timing and the nature. The nature of the millennium, that it's actually physical, what you just articulated, that Jesus is actually going to return and set up a literal kingdom here on earth. That's where post-mill and pre-mill agree.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to pre-mill guys and they're like, Jesus' kingdom is not just in the 17th dimension. It's real, it's tangible, it's physical. I mean, he's going to be ruling the nations here on earth.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to pre-mill guys like a MacArthur type talk like that. And I'm like, that's right. We agree. And then with but then in the next breath they're going to say, and it's nowhere to be seen. It's not yet, but it will be suddenly, and probably soon, maybe next Thursday. So it's not here at all, but it will be here, and when it's here, it's going to be real. Whereas the all-mill guy agrees with the post-mill guy on the timing of the kingdom. So we both believe that we're in the millennial kingdom right now. So right now, Jesus is ruling and reigning, but we disagree, post-mill and all-mill, over the nature. So we agree on the timing, but we disagree on the nature. The all-mill, the way, you know, and all-mill guys don't appreciate this, but I'm just trying to make it simple, and I'm trying to be a little bit funny too. So take it as tongue-in-cheek. The all-mill, instead of already and not yet, the all-mill guy has an already but not really mentality.
Interesting.
So it's like, it's already. He's ruling and reigning, but not really. He's ruling and reigning in the 17th dimension, ethereally, you know.
So it's like he's ruling in the spiritual sense,
right,
but not in a tangible sense.
But not in any real tangible sense here on earth.
Okay.
So the pre-mill guy and the post-mill guy, we agree on the nature of the kingdom.
Okay.
It's physical, it's literal, it's earthly.
Okay.
The all-mill and post-mill guy, we agree on the timing of the kingdom. It's right now. So we both agree on the, it's happening now. We're in the millennial kingdom. Jesus is reigning. That's all-mill and post-mill. But then in terms of the nature of the kingdom, it's post-mill and pre-mill that actually agree that it's not just a spiritual reign, but it's a reign that has real, tangible, practical effects in the physical world.
Yeah, that's good.
This is one of the new pieces from the He is Him collection, Jesus the King. When you wear this shirt, you do two things. One, you remind yourself in your life who the King is when you put this thing on. Two, you represent who the King is when you go out in public. So get ready for the He is Him collection, available this Friday to Sunday only.